This is All India Radio. In the program Spotlight, now we bring you a discussion on government's COVID-19 mitigation measures. The participants are Ashok Tandon, political analyst, and Ruchika Chitravanshi, journalist.
Good evening. We are meeting under very grim circumstances as the COVID cases in the country are rising in the second wave as never before. Today, the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi, has taken a meeting with chief ministers to understand what our preparation is, to understand the challenges and come up with solutions with regards to oxygen supply, the vaccine supply, etc. in the country. Mr. Ashok Tandon, can you first of all tell us what are the main takeaways from what the Prime Minister has said today in his meetings with the chief ministers?
In the midst of rising COVID-19 cases across the country, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been holding a series of review meetings over the last few days. And in that context, he has been holding even internal review meetings with his own cabinet colleagues and the officials of the Prime Minister Office, Ministry of Health, Railways. And in that series, today, he held another review meeting with the chief ministers of states. 10 chief ministers participated in it, the states which are having very serious cases. And at the meeting with the chief minister, the Prime Minister's emphasis was on a very concerted and united effort on the part of all the states as well as the central government and the local bodies to overcome the situation. And if I may use his one-liner, which the Prime Minister said at the meeting was that if we work as one nation, there will be no scarcity of resources. He said the central government is working on all possible options to reduce the travel time and turnaround time of oxygen tankers. The railway has already started oxygen express trains. Empty oxygen tankers are also being transported by the Indian Air Force to reduce one-way travel time. And in that context, he urged all states to work together and let's coordinate with one another to fulfill requirements relating to medicines as well as oxygen. And he said that one thing he cautioned the state that let the states check hoarding and black marketing of either oxygen or medicine. That was one very pertinent point which the Prime Minister emphasized. And he said Prime Minister was taking down notes of the Chief Minister's concerns and the points which they were raising, particularly with regard to supply of oxygen and also about the distribution of vaccines. But the Prime Minister was very clear in his mind that this fight is a continuous process. It is a continuous effort. And all concerned departments and ministries of the government are also working together. And industrial oxygen has also been diverted to meet immediate requirements of all the states as well as the hospitals, even including the private sector hospital. And fight against pandemic has to be a collective one. And as the country demonstrated during the first wave, and India did succeed during the first wave of pandemic, just because of our united efforts and united strategy. And he said the same thing we will have to do it now. We'll have to meet the challenge again, and therefore a united approach, sort of a concerted effort, collective effort on the part of all the chief ministers, states will have to be there. And the meeting was obviously virtual. And later on, after that meeting, the Prime Minister held a meeting with all the oxygen manufacturers across the country. And point which all the Chief Minister was making about uninterrupted supply of oxygen, and all the oxygen manufacturers, both public sector, private sector, they have assured the Prime Minister that the production of oxygen will be augmented to meet the requirement of the country. And because it now has become a life-saving gas and it should not be running short in supply in hospitals across the country.
Mr. Tandon, as you said, the Prime Minister has also said that the whole nation needs to come together, and he has held meetings with the oxygen manufacturers. Since yesterday, we're seeing a lot of hospitals in the capital have been putting out these messages that they have just a few hours of oxygen left. Now, a few hours ago, there has been tweets by some hospitals. So one of the reasons that Delhi is facing is that some states, they say, are not allowing oxygen to enter the capital city. How has all this been addressed, especially because there's a lot of panic amongst people now? Not everybody requires oxygen, but oxygen is the main treatment for COVID. So what would you like to tell them? Will this issue be resolved now?
No, first of all, let me share with you a report which New Delhi's Sir Gangaram Hospital has issued a statement. And they have denied these reports as false, that patients have died due to lack of oxygen in their hospital. And Gangaram, of course, was, requesting more supply of oxygen, but they have made it clear that they have not allowed any patient to die due to lack of oxygen. And the hospital, I'm quoting from the hospital statement, that when oxygen pressure lowered in ICU beds, and the hospital gave patients oxygen manually, did not let anyone die without oxygen. And now they have been assured that there will be 9,000 to 10,000 cubic meter of oxygen daily will be supplied to Gangaram Hospital. And in other hospitals also, now the supply of oxygen is being augmented, and hopefully situation will return to normal in the next couple of days. But as you very rightly said, states are concerned about the free movement of the oxygen from one state to another, and that is exactly was the purpose of Prime Minister meeting with the Chief Minister, that let's all cooperate and coordinate so that there is no interruption from one state to another state. And some of the states which are actually surplus in production of oxygen, like Orissa, they have assured that they would be supplying oxygen to the needy states. And therefore, we do hope. But the panic is not no solution. And the states also have their concern. But exactly that was the issue which was discussed today at the Chief Minister's meeting, and the Prime Minister assured them that all necessary steps are now being taken and they will continue to be taken. As I said, the oxygen manufacturers have also assured that this life-saving gas will not be in short supply. And in the next couple of days, hopefully, situation will be normal and lives will be saved. And states also, during the first wave, all the states and civic bodies and paramedics and all our health workers, they were all working round the clock and they did succeed. And similarly now, there is a huge challenge which the country is facing. And that challenge has to be met by a collective effort. Hopefully that the proper coordination between center and the state will help country overcome this pandemic situation, particularly the shortage of oxygen, as well as also some very important drugs.
Another issue besides oxygen that the Prime Minister has talked about is vaccination. Now we know that from May 1st onwards, the vaccination is opening in a big way, and 18 plus will also be eligible for the vaccines. What is it that the Prime Minister has told states in this regard, especially because there have been reports of shortage of vaccines? Several people are saying second dose has not been made available. How do you see this part of the puzzle evolving?
In the midst of what we are discussing, there is a very encouraging news coming in that the Drugs Controller General of India has approved emergency use of the Zydacadila's drug, which is Virafin. And this is for treatment of moderate COVID infection cases in adults. So another drug will now be available in the market. And similarly, efforts are on to bring in other vaccines which are being produced in different parts of the world, and there are assurances from companies like Pfizer that they would be manufacturing their vaccine in India, and another vaccine may be available. So India still needs more vaccines. That is why the government has now allowed the hospitals, private hospitals also to purchase vaccine directly from the manufacturer. So all these measures are being taken. And if you look at the positive side of it, and daily roughly around 40 lakh people are being vaccinated, more than around 14 crore have already been vaccinated. But it's a huge country and the problem is also gigantic, and the country has to face it and fight it unitedly. And let's hope that like we did succeed in the first wave, we will succeed again and situation will be brought under control, whether it's availability of vaccines or whether availability of the life-saving drugs or particularly the supply of oxygen.
Another issue that Prime Minister had earlier talked about is the lockdown strategy. Now the cases are rising. There is no sign of abatement yet. How do you think states should approach going forward? Delhi is under lockdown right now, but just for another few more days. What should be the strategy, and has the PM talked about this at all today?
So if you remember, just a couple of days ago, the Prime Minister made a broadcast to the nation, particularly on the issue of trials which the states have been asked to enforce, particularly the night curfew, weekend curfews, and things like that. And primarily, the Prime Minister advised all the chief ministers and the states to look at the situation from their own perspective and take appropriate action and measures, which the states are doing now. And that's why we see that different states and chief ministers are taking measures according to the situation as it is developing in their respective states and area. But one thing which was very categorically emphasized by the Prime Minister was that along with saving lives of the people, we have to save the economy also. Therefore, complete lockdown should be the last resort. That is the message. But containment zones can be earmarked in each and every district, and accordingly the measures should be taken. Enforcement of the strict measures should be left to the district magistrates, and the states, depending upon the situation, they can extend the curfew, night curfew to weekend curfew. Like you said, in Delhi, beyond weekend curfew, Delhi is now having a sort of a lockdown for the entire week. So depending upon the situation, states are taking measures. They are enforcing, their law enforcing agencies are also executing these measures. And as we know, 10 states are really in the grip of very serious pandemic. And therefore, the chief ministers of these states are reviewing the situation, monitoring the situation at the ground level on a daily basis, and accordingly devising measures how to deal with the situation. And therefore, the Prime Minister from time to time has been meeting the chief minister, holding internal review meetings, having meetings with all the departments of the government, including the defense forces are also now in action. And therefore, I think whatever measures India could take are already being taken, and measures are also being devised. Situation is being monitored, reviewed from time to time, and accordingly, whatever is necessary, hopefully, will be done at all levels. But whether to go for a complete lockdown or not has been left to the states, and states accordingly are devising their own strategies.
Another important tool in this whole fight is testing, and I think Prime Minister has asked states now to ramp up testing. One of the reasons is because of why a lot of cases go undetected. What is the role of testing, Mr. Tandon, now?
I think if you look at the testing statistics, testing has been at a very massive scale going on now. But the worrying factor seems to be the positivity rate. Now, for instance, if in Delhi, if 1 lakh tests are done and 24,000 positive cases are detected, that means the positivity rate in Delhi is about 24%, which is alarming. So therefore, more tests, and if the positivity rate continues to be like that, obviously is a very grim situation. So therefore, testing has now been, I think, intensified all over the country. And along with that, the vaccination drive also is going on. It's very, very significant to note that in the midst of the pandemic, when there are so many cases coming up, around 300,000 cases per day, 2,000 deaths, even then the vaccination drive has not been hampered in any part of the country. And that, I think, is the way forward. Testing, and then not only treating them and isolating them and following the SOP norms all over the country, at the same time not letting the vaccination drive slow down. I think that is the whole issue which the country has to face, and that is exactly what is being done, because any kind of panic may lead to people not going for vaccine. So that has to be checked. But ultimately what really matters is the people of the country, the people in every district, village, town, to adhere to the norms like washing hands, maintaining social distancing, and of course, mask. I think mask is the most essential part, which now people are adhering to. And the state governments are also having very strict enforcement. Fines have been announced, and people caught without mask. All these measures and SOPs are now being taken at a war footing, and there is no doubt that India will overcome this situation very soon.
We surely hope so, and we request everybody who's listening in to not panic and take care of themselves, stay safe, follow COVID-appropriate behavior, and hopefully we shall tide over this crisis very soon. Thank you so much, Mr. Tandon, for joining us today.
Thank you.
You were listening to a discussion on government's COVID-19 mitigation measures. The participants were Ashok Tandon, political analyst, and Ruchika Chitravanshi, journalist. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio.